What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's movie review of the Netflix original movie, Spiderhead, the newest film from director Joseph Kosinski. So based off the short story from George Saunders, this story of Spiderhead stars Miles Teller as Jeff, and Jeff is an individual that's a criminal. He did something very stupid, and because he signs up for this program to shave time off his sentence of being in jail, he finds himself on this island called Spiderhead, which is this big concrete bunker, very secluded, nobody knows really what's going on. But as we learn, this character named Steve, who's played by Chris Hemsworth, works for this company that basically experiments on individuals, kind of using different chemicals and ways of chemistry in their brains to basically experiment to work on these types of drugs to possibly help people in the long run. Well, if you've ever seen Antitrust, you know that these stories are much darker than what they appear on the surface. And as Jeff starts to come to the conclusion of what these drugs are really entailing, he starts to see that there is more to it than what Steve, Chris Hemsworth's character, is portraying, and it becomes a much sinister tale. And on top of that, he meets a character named Lizzie, who of course is played by Jurnee Smollett, who has a dark past as well as most of the people in this movie. So it's definitely safe to say that Joseph Kosinski is having a pretty good couple of months, to be fairly honest. He directed probably the biggest hit of the summer, which of course is Top Gun Maverick. We know that was pushed back to a couple of years because of the pandemic. So him having a film come out on Netflix, even though it's ironic a little bit, it's kind of funny to think about because this is a film that I'm sure he directed last year instead of 3 years ago. So having two films with this director is actually kind of a coup for him, to be fairly honest. It's something that, really will help his status because he's a director that, he directed the OK Tron Legacy, Oblivion is fine, but as we've seen, he's kind of gained or garnered his status in Hollywood. And now he's working with like Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller, who actually, of course, he worked with in another film. And I was really interested to see this when I heard about it and saw the trailer for it. It looked fun. It looked like, once again, like I said, it looks like a very dark, very sinister type film and stuff like that. So I kind of figured that the film was going to have, a twist or a plot or something that was going to be a big revelation as the movie moved along. And so for my honest review of this movie, you know what? I actually really enjoyed this movie. It was a movie that's not, perfect. It has a lot of problems when it comes to the sameness of like the conspiracy and the revelations and stuff like that. But it's a movie that's well directed. You can tell it has a little bit of budget behind it. The fact that it was filmed mostly on sound stages, I'm guessing, really helped it. The fact that it's in a concrete bunker really helps that claustrophobic feel, that very stress feel that, not only are the actors portraying something like the island, I guess you could say, but it allows the audience to kind of feel like you're enclosed with them, that there is no light, there is no, breathability in the movie. And then when like the incidents is when they use the drugs to kind of pull out the emotions of the characters in this movie, it is what I would call a very potent movie in a lot of aspects. Like I said, it's not a perfect movie because it has a lot of stereotypes and tropes. A lot of the characters that are the background and secondary characters are very tropey in their feel, and they kind of bog down the movie a little bit. But the main cast, like I said, with Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller and Jurnee Smollett and stuff like that, they're entertaining to watch. They do a nice job. Miles Teller has worked with Joseph Kosinski in like 3 films now, so there is a like a comfortability in what he's doing. So Miles Teller, Joseph Kosinski is able to bring out like a really decent performance out of Miles Teller's character as an individual, and it really shows here. But like I said, watching Chris Hemsworth play kind of like the antagonist a little bit, kind of, you never know what he's saying, if it's the truth, if he's lying, if he's trying to push a certain angle. You never really get a justification of that, even as the movie gets close to the end, because you don't know, because of the way the movie's kind of, shifting, the way that the writers of the Deadpool movie that are writing this movie are kind of shifting the narrative and stuff like that. So you really get a sense that there is never a chance to breathe, I guess you could say. It's always on edge. When the Steve character pushes the Jeff character and they're doing certain things, you're like, oh my god, I don't want him to do that. You want to reach into the screen and pull Jeff away from having to do that incident. And it's really an intriguing, interesting movie to watch. It just has some flaws when it comes to character development and the kind of overarching narrative that when it kind of finally concludes, which it becomes a little traditional in its own right. But I think it's a movie overall. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's entertaining for an hour and 45 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It has an interesting premise, and I like Antitrust, to be fairly honest. That's why I keep comparing it, because there are similarities to the main character, the kind of Steve-ish character, like what Tim Robbins plays and stuff like that. And of course, there is a female kind of love interest in the story, which is the Jurnee Smollett character, which portrays. But once again, this is a story about convicts who basically push themselves into doing drug experiments and stuff like that. So overall, I enjoyed the movie. I think it's fascinating. It has a lot of fun, just has some problems, and is a much better Netflix movie than a lot of other Netflix movies, which I was really surprised about. And so with that said, that is going to be my take on Spiderhead. Thank you so much for watching. In comments below, are you interested in seeing this movie? If you have seen it, let me know what you think in the comments. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.